My cup be filled up to the brim, nickel. Yo bitch fixing her makeup in my rims, nigga. Yo bitch fixing.
What's up, everybody on YouTube? This is RC, joined by Jacob. As you guys may know him as Muscot Kicks. I want to give a quick shout out to his name is Darren Graves, but his Twitter handle is at Gideon Graves. And also our Twitter handles are, mine is going to be at BulletRC. Jacob's is going to be at iMuscotKicks. Apparently Muscot Kicks was taken, so we have a fake Jacob rolling around. But yeah, basically we just want to do kind of a discussion type video for you guys. And I guess I'll just let Jacob take it away from here.
All right, so basically, the first thing I want to talk about is the way Nike and Jordan Brand, all these major shoe companies have been handling, big releases, a lot of upcoming releases as far as, Nike Town. A lot of people say that there's like shady people holding pairs, people buying pairs early, and early release pairs. Jordan making such limited quantities, people are dying and whatnot. So, you know what I mean? How you feel about that, man?
For me, I feel like I think one of the things I could take away from was the Kilroy release. I still was able to see like there are pairs of Kilroys. If you really wanted them, you probably could have got them for retail. I guess it's all depending on your area, but I still was around here going to the malls, and I can still see some on shelves. Maybe not today, but last week, a day or two after they released. They didn't exactly sell out, and it's surprising because you see that Jordans aren't selling out as much as like newer Nikes are selling out instantly. Newer like Reebok classics that are coming back out are selling out instantly. Different shoes, and it's like a focus has been taken kind of off of Jordan Brand. And when you think about all the heat that they're dropping, like the Thunder 4s, they just said, okay, I guess we'll just put that out there. Because I feel like they're I'm not saying that Jordan Brand isn't selling, but they're losing a little steam because of Nike bringing back classics, or just innovating on newer shoes. Like you got the LeBron 10 or whatever. And basically, how I feel about people holding shoes and different things like that. I mean, if they just made more of the same shoes, they had more quantity, more stock, it wouldn't be a problem. Like I can understand somebody working at Foot Locker. They want to hold their pair of Bred 11s. Why can't Jordan Brand just make enough pairs so that everyone can just get a pair? I mean, he knows they're going to sell out. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, they're going to sell out, or like the Bred 4s or whatever. And the Thunder 4s, they're not going to sit on shelves for real. So, I mean, either way, if you made more of them, you get more money. I guess people have to make shoes limited these days to sell. But I don't know. I mean, you can say what you gotta say about it.
I mean, for real, like, part of the thing as far as you said with like Jordan Brand losing steam, and whatnot, like I think that's part of the reason why next year, like the Fire Red 5s, Aqua 8s, Chrome 8s, Playoff 8s, I believe, are releasing. Grape 5s. You know what I'm saying? All these different shoes that haven't come out in years, but everybody considers to be like heat and whatnot. I think that's why, they're just releasing all these shoes all of a sudden because they want to keep everybody's interest on Jordan Brand. Because now, you have Reebok and Adidas retro on a lot of their older shoes. You have the questions, the answers. Supposedly, the Matumbes are re-releasing. But, I feel like Jordan Brand, it's like basic economics that everybody's gonna buy a shoe no matter what, but if you make more shoes, you're gonna make more money. The shoe's still gonna sell out. I mean, how many like retro releases have really sat on shelves this year besides Stealth 10s and Stealth 3s?
Nothing.
But I don't know, man. I feel like the whole way Jordan and Nike and them are handling all these situations is just bad. It's just it's bad PR, public relations, you know what I mean? And even like even with like the whole House of Hoops situation, like I know like I know a dude that went to Charlotte or wherever in North Carolina to go to the House of Hoops, Nike Town, for the Galaxy Foamposite release.
Okay.
And they had him foot race like across the bridge to the store. And then he said he got like third in line because he's a military dude, he's fast as hell. But He was like third in line, and then once they got there, they just said the whole release was shut down and nobody could get a pair. And he had drove there all the way from Virginia, like a 5-hour drive, which for no reason, which honestly doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't understand. I just don't understand it. The concept doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, just the releases in general. I think that the releases that really brought light to how crazy people are going to go over certain kicks are definitely either the Concords or just the Galaxy release in general. Like, most of us has already seen that video in Orlando, at the Orlando Mall, what happened there. And plus, we've seen on the news everything that happened with the Concords. Just people out there that don't even want them, just out there to resell. People that can lose their lives. And pretty much, before we started this video, Jacob actually pulled that up before I did. We just aren't, like, neither of us want to die over a pair of shoes. So, like, the Bread 11s, I do want a pair. I know there's been talk about, like, a boycott or whatever, but we'll get to that later. But I don't own either the Bread 11s or the Bread 4s, so, take that into consideration. But just the thought of the Concord release, local malls have been stepping it up, using barricades because they know how these releases are with these shoes. I think last year we knew, but I don't think the mall staff or anyone in certain places, I'm not saying that everyone wasn't prepared, but some places they just weren't, prepared, didn't have enough security. They just didn't know how much people were going to go crazy over the Concords. So I'm really interested to see how Bread 4s, I think they'll be okay. But the Bread 11, I think is going to be an interesting release to watch. And I guess that brings us to another point is, Jacob, how do you feel about early release kicks? Like people who try to get stuff early.
Actually, it's funny because my dad's friend, if y'all know, I've shown maybe 1 or 2 pair of his kicks on my channel before. I've done reviews on them. But his friend came over, who's also a sneakerhead, and he got an early release pair of Concords. So if you follow me on Instagram, which is Muscop Kicks and
Bullet RC at Bullet RC.
So I posted a picture of 3 pairs of Concords lined up on like my fireplace, and one of them was his, but he said like he got them like 6 months in advance, and the only flaw, which is not a flaw, it's just, what I'm saying, they're not real, they're not legit release day kicks, was on the tongue, the little Jumpman Jordan tag. On the Jordan, the R was like half-assed, so it looked like a Q. So he had some Jocdins, which I've never heard of that brand before. But early releases like Air Randy, Marquis Soul, all these other websites and whatnot that claim to have like legit 100% authentic kicks. It might be made in the same factory, but it's not approved by Jordan, you know what I mean? It's not a legitimate release day pair. It's not going to be the same as a pair that somebody's going to get on release day if they just wait for the shoe. And honestly, there's no point in getting early release kicks, because in 6 months, everybody's going to have that kick. Everybody's going to have those shoes. It's not going to matter, you know what I mean, if you had them 6 months in advance at that point, because no one's going to care. You know what I mean? If you want to turn some heads in advance and pay $400, go ahead, but I'm going to wait, and I'm going to cop my pair for $180, and I'm going to still stun on everybody. You know what I mean? So,
yes, that's a pretty good point. Just the shadiness of like the early releases, just you not knowing what you're gonna get. You know how Sneak Geek's not trying to call him out. I used to love watching his videos. He doesn't really post as much now, but he even came out with his video talking about how he orders from Air Randy and all these different sites, and sometimes they might send him their best batch or whatever they got. But he even said that same thing. He made a video about it saying that they're not always A+, Every time he gets a shoe early, it's not without its flaws usually. You know what I'm saying? He even broke down the different sites or whatever. I've seen it a while ago. So, he's even telling you that, you order from these early release sites just because they say, just maybe a flaw or something. These flaws, as Jake put in quotes, I like that, flaws that they say they have on these shoes, if you just wait, Not saying that retail, shoes don't have their flaws, because they do from time to time, but not in the majority as an early release kick.